What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a big transfer update, a big transfer news video on Nicolas Pepe, because a very respectable journalist, the journalist who actually broke the news first of Fabinho signing for Liverpool last summer, this journalist said that Liverpool are in negotiations with Lille over the signing of Nicolas Pepe. So if you are excited about this news, leave a like. It just takes a second for you guys and it really helps me out. And let me know in the comments below, how much should Liverpool be paying for Nicolas Pepe, and also, do you want Liverpool to sign him? So RMC Sports journalist Mohamed Bouhafsi is a very, knowledgeable journalist who, as I said, broke the story first of Fabinho signing for Liverpool. And that was a very secretive transfer that not even any Liverpool-based journalist had any clue that Fabinho was signing for Liverpool. And this guy broke that news first, so I quite trust his opinion. Pepe is a 24-year-old winger who plays for Lille, and Lille came out and they said that he will definitely leave Lille this summer. He scored 22 goals and got 11 assists this season and helped Lille finish in second place. And according to the journalist Bouhafsi, Liverpool are well placed to sign Pepe. This is what he said, and I quote, "Liverpool is well placed, but Liverpool and Bayern Munich negotiate with Lille and the player. It is not advanced at the moment because the player wants to think a little bit more. A very important third club will position itself quickly. Pepe is weighing up his options. He has Liverpool and Bayern Munich and potentially a third club who could be interested in his services, and I think this is one of the biggest decisions of his whole football career, where he goes for the next potentially 5 years. I think he wants to think long and hard about the decision, and Bayern Munich are going for Pepe after Manchester City keep rejecting their huge transfer offers for Leroy Sané, which is unfortunate. I really wanted that transfer to go through. Manchester City even rejected 80 million euros for Leroy Sané from Bayern Munich, because it looks like that Bayern are not turning to Pepe, and it looks like they could seriously rival Liverpool with wages and with the football project that Bayern are offering. Remember that Bayern Munich are losing both Robben and Ribéry this summer, 2 wingers. So Nicolas Pepe could see Bayern also as a club where he would start regularly. At Liverpool, I think he would also start some games, because we should rest Firmino sometimes, or Mane or Salah. And Pepe is one player who can basically play in any of the forward 3 positions, so he can play as a right winger, as a left winger, or as a center forward as well. And the Lille boss Christophe Galtier confirmed that Pepe will leave Lille this summer. This is what he said: Nicolas Pepe will leave. Life is like that, football is like that today. He is a player of the highest level who will have a big decision to make on the choice of his next club, and there will be a battle between the great European teams. And I think Liverpool are right in the running. But I think what Liverpool need to do right now is sit down with Pepe and his agent and try to convince him that he will get regular playing time at Liverpool, and maybe say that we will play you with Mane and Salah, and you can play on the left wing, Mane can play up front, or Salah can play up front, and the other guy can play on the right wing. And Firmino sometimes can play as a player behind the striker. So actually we could start with all 4 attackers. If we sign Nicolas Pepe, we should say to him that against smaller teams we will start with Fabinho and maybe Henderson as the 2 midfielders, and then Salah on the right, Mane on the up front, Pepe on the left, and Firmino just behind Mane in the false striker or the attacking midfielder role. And I think that would be just a brilliant lineup against like the bottom 10 teams, certainly in the Premier League. I think Liverpool can get away with just 2 defenders, two defensive midfielders, sorry, and just let the attack do their thing, and it's interchangeable. I mean, apart from Firmino, all of Mane, Salah and Nicolas Pepe can play, as I said, in either a striker or on the wing. So the forwards can interchange, and it could be a fluid attack, and that could be a serious weapon for Liverpool. And in the first half of the season, Liverpool many times used the 4-2-3-1 formation, with playing Shaqiri on the right, Firmino behind Salah, who played up front, and Mane on the left. And it worked quite well. Liverpool won a lot of games using that formation. So next season, with Nicolas Pepe in the team, that could be an even more frightening, more potent strike force. And Nicolas Pepe is similar to Sadio Mane in that he has a lot of pace, he's very strong, robust player, but he also has a good touch and he can dribble past opposition. So he is the perfect player, in my opinion, for Liverpool. And he wouldn't cost something crazy like £100 million. I'm seeing different figures of how much Pepe is valued by Lille. So maybe between 60 and 70 million pounds, Liverpool could sign him. And I really hope that we do, because it would be just a brilliant signing. And oh my goodness, listen to this. One online casino reported a $10,000 bet on Nicolas Pepe signing for Liverpool. Wow, that is some serious betting money put on this transfer. So it's going to be interesting whether that guy wins any money and whether this transfer goes through. I think we should wait another couple of weeks until this transfer is concluded, because Nicolas Pepe just wants to have time to think it through, because as I said, this is one of the most important decisions of his career. And the Guinea coach just admitted that he actually put a lot of pressure on Liverpool to send Naby Keita as soon as possible to the training camp of Guinea before the Africa Cup of Nations. And I don't really like that. That's not how it should work. Naby Keita should only join the Guinea squad if he is really fit and recovered from the injury. And Jurgen Klopp himself said that Naby Keita was a doubt for the Africa Cup of Nations. And the Guinea manager said this about Naby Keita. Keita leaves Liverpool after training in the morning and arrives Monday evening. I put a lot of pressure on Liverpool to send Naby Keita as soon as possible. In the end, I said that if Naby does not come now, it will be difficult to put him on the list for the Africa Cup of Nations. He said he will play. That's like a threat to Naby Keita and to Liverpool, that if they don't send him on Monday, and they, in the end, on Monday, Naby Keita arrived in the training camp, and he's not fully fit. He's just started training with a ball. So far he trained without the ball, and that means that he's like halfway there. So I'm not sure this is the best idea, because you shouldn't rush a player back quickly from an injury, because he could re-injure himself. And what Liverpool and Naby Keita ultimately want is to be fit for the start of the Premier League season and to be fully recover from the injury. So it leaves a bad taste in my mouth, this. And the Guinea national team begin the Africa Cup of Nations, which is hosted in Egypt, as outsiders. So it's not like they have a very big chance of winning the whole tournament, but of course they want to play Naby Keita, and they want him to be fully fit for their first game, because with Naby Keita they have a much better chance to win games and to qualify to the knockout stage. And ultimately the manager's job is on the line, so he doesn't really care if Naby Keita re-injures himself. He just wants to rush him back and to put him in the team, and that's not how it should work. So I really hope that the Liverpool medics also monitor the situation, and I really hope that they only let Naby Keita play if he's fully fit and he doesn't have an increased risk to injury. And Joel Matip talked about a possible exit from Liverpool and returning to Schalke, but definitely not this summer, so don't get too worried, guys. This is what Joel Matip said. In football, nothing is impossible. Currently, I have 2 years on my contract with Liverpool. After initial difficulties and injuries, I feel comfortable in Liverpool now. There is still a lot of room for Schalke in my heart. That never stops. Accordingly, my worries about this club were very big. I try to watch every single game on TV. It can only get better for the new season. He's referring to Schalke's dreadful season where they only just avoided relegation. So I think Matip, maybe when he's done in Liverpool in like 2 years' time, he could leave and rejoin Schalke and maybe finish his career there, because we signed the Joel Matip from Schalke, remember, for a free transfer, and that was an outstanding success. I mean, what else do you want? Joel Matip started and won the Champions League final for Liverpool, which is brilliant. I'm so happy for him. And one of Liverpool's young players, Sheyi Ojo, it looks like he will sign a new 5-year contract. So it looks like Liverpool want to keep him. He's 21 years old. He had a failed loan spell at Reims, the French first division club, where he didn't really start a lot of games. And now it looks like after signing a new contract that he will move to Rangers on loan to work under Steven Gerrard. I think it's brilliant that one of the Liverpool legends, Gerrard, is working at Rangers, because the Scottish League has some similarities to the Premier League. And maybe Ojo is not good enough to play in the Premier League yet, but he's definitely good enough to play for Rangers. And Rangers is a big club in Scotland, one of the biggest in fact. And I think playing in a big club like that and getting used to the pressures of you know, playing for a huge club like that could actually help him transition from a young player to a starting 11 or substitute player at another big club like Liverpool. So I think this is a good decision for all parties, and I wish Ojo good luck at Rangers, and I hope that he shines. And Steve Nicol, the former Liverpool player and Liverpool legend, said in an interview that Mignolet has to go. He has to go and play. You need a backup who is going to be happy to be there and who is of a certain level that whenever something may happen to Alisson, you are going to put the goalkeeper in, and he's going to do a great job. And Nicol says that he wants Liverpool to sign a Neil Etheridge, the Cardiff City player, who actually had a very good season. Even though Cardiff got relegated, he made, I think, one of the most saves in the whole Premier League. And he was a really good goalkeeper, and he's still quite young. Steve Nicol said, I think this would be a good signing. I think the 69 goals that Etheridge let in, he probably had no chance with like 55 of them, let's be honest. And yeah, that's an interesting point. And Liverpool have a habit of signing players from a relegated Premier League teams. Like we signed Wijnaldum from relegated Newcastle, then we signed Andy Robertson from relegated Hull City, and then we signed Xherdan Shaqiri from relegated Stoke City. And all three of those transfers have been a success. Even Shaqiri, who didn't play a lot in the second half of the season, Shaqiri contributed really big in the last few games, like getting an assist against Newcastle, getting an assist against Barcelona, and both of those assists were very, very important. In fact, vital, if you like. And Kenny Dalglish said brilliant things about Jurgen Klopp and his whole Liverpool tenure so far. This is what Kenny Dalglish said. When Jurgen Klopp was appointed, I said that we should all strap ourselves in because it was going to be a roller coaster ride. Well, it certainly has been. I'm delighted for him that he has won his first trophy with Liverpool. He has revitalized this brilliant football club and has been a breath of fresh air. Now that this current Liverpool side have all had a taste of that wonderful feeling of winning such an outstanding prize, they will want to embrace and experience that feeling again and again. Just as well we all did 40 years ago. It's the winning that counts. That's what we believe at Liverpool. And I fully agree with Kenny Dalglish. I think Liverpool will go really hard next season to try to win as many trophies as possible. The Premier League will be, I think, our main focus, but we will also target the Champions League again because of our history and because Liverpool could make history by qualifying for their third Champions League final in a row, which I don't think Liverpool has ever done before, to play in 3 Champions League finals in 3 consecutive seasons. And it's going to be interesting whether Liverpool could do it. And certainly I think we will try to win the FA Cup and the Community Shield final, the European Super Cup final, the Club World Cup final. There are just so many cup finals and so many trophies and so many competitions that Liverpool are looking forward to, and I'm really looking forward to it. So bring them on, and I will say that if Liverpool don't win at least 2 or 3 trophies next season, I will be disappointed. So come on, let's do it. Jurgen Klopp described the winning the Champions League final as the greatest night of his career, and he was asked about, you know, the celebrations, and he actually a little bit complained about not getting a beer shower after winning the Champions League final, because in Germany there is a tradition that if you win the title or if you win the German Cup, players run onto the pitch and they soak the manager in beer. And Bayern Munich, of course, you have seen it probably many times. They have this tradition of like having these kind of big glasses, and they are full of beer and they are just pouring it over themselves, over each other, over the manager. Jurgen Klopp said this: I don't know, in Germany when I win 20 minutes after the game I am half drunk because I didn't even get a water here. So he's jokingly, of course, complaining that nobody soaked him in beer, which I found very funny. I just found this interview. I'm so happy for the boys. Klopp continued, all the fans, my family, and Jurgen Klopp. I'm in love with this guy. I'm just so happy that he finally won the Champions League, because remember that he lost already 2 Champions League finals in a row, which is heartbreaking. And now he joins a very few illustrious list of managers who won the Champions League. And honestly, if Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp continue their development, I can see him winning another Champions League trophy, or maybe another 2 Champions League trophies. We can always dream. Bob Paisley is the most successful manager in Liverpool by winning 3 Champions Leagues. Can Jurgen Klopp emulate that or match that? We will wait and see, but I'm really happy that he has done it. And Mauricio Pochettino was asked whether he regrets starting Harry Kane after Harry Kane had a pretty bad game. I don't think Harry Kane was fully fit, and I don't think he should have played in the Champions League final, certainly not from the start. And I don't think he should have started games for England, because England also suffered because Harry Kane was just way off the pace. But because he's their biggest player or best player, probably Pochettino started him, because Harry Kane can always score a goal out of nothing. And this is what Pochettino said, and I quote, "This wasn't a drama, it was a decision. For me, Harry Kane, after 1 month and a half, he finished the game fresh. He didn't score, but my decision, I promise, was very analytical. With all the information, I have no regrets." And we will have time to talk about the future. That can be in tomorrow or next week. I think it's not a moment now to talk too much, because you can interpret things in a different way. People want to compare me to different managers, but we are in different positions and a different place. Our ambition is amazing. The club played in its first Champions League final, and I think overall Pochettino shouldn't get any criticism, because he is overachieving with Tottenham to guide Tottenham to their first Champions League final, having spent no money for 2 straight transfer windows, knocking out Manchester City in the process. I think has been nothing short of incredible, and huge congratulations to Tottenham on a great season. And I'm just happy, of course, we won the Champions League final, but they also had a great season. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you later. Goodbye.